It's 8:45 p.m. at Camp Nou on the 8th of January 1994, and in 90 minutes, Football Club Barcelona and Real Madrid will once again face each other in the game that's known as El Clásico. Every such meeting has something special about it, but nobody, or almost nobody, anticipated that this particular clash would go down in history as one of Barca's greatest wins against their fiercest rivals. When you talked about a hammering this week, this is what you meant? Yes, exactly. Well, against Madrid there's a bit more atmosphere, a bit more happening, and really, I like it. Games with the atmosphere like tomorrow's at Camp Nou, you don't have to talk about motivation. Well, let's hope that between the fans and us we can do a job tomorrow, and we can put an end to the talk of not being able to beat Madrid. There's no clear favourite. Two very good teams. Whoever does it on the night can win, but no favourite really. Well, the fact is that before that game here at Camp Nou, we felt something different. We felt that we had to win this game by whatever score, 1-0, 2-0, but we had to win. Not before the game, especially out of respect. You always have to show respect for the other team, and that goes more than ever for Madrid. You never look to win a game by one particular score or another. You look to win it, and you see how the game goes. Sometimes you come up short, you don't win when you thought you would, and you can lose when you don't deserve to. I don't think you can expect a 5-0 win, because that's a result you can never expect against Madrid, because they play each other too much, and when you predict a 5-0 win, there'll be hardly any goals in the game. Barca went into this game having lost 2-0 away at Sporting Gijón in their previous outing, but they were still above Madrid in the league table. And in fact, Barca's main rivals for a title that went right to the wire were Deportivo La Coruña. However, El Clásico is never just another game. There were Madrid players who really got the Barca fans going. Incredible. There were times, for example, there was Zamorano went out onto the pitch at Camp Nou grabbing his crotch. And let's not forget Luis Enrique. He really riled the fans as well. This kind of game starts when the one before ends. Then on the Monday and Tuesday, it gathers pace with the press, all the media, on the street, people you know, the dressing room. You realise that the next game is totally different. I don't recall that there was real tension before that particular game, but it was different back then. We entered on a dynamic around about that time that got bigger all the time. If you went to a Barca-Madrid game, at that time there'd be, let's say, 20 cameras. The next one, 24. The one after that, 28. Then 36. And if that pre-match was half an hour, the next would be 45 minutes. The one after an hour. It was expanding all the time. And back then, the club had a mosaic with 10,000 flags. The next time it was 15, then 20,000, then the whole stadium. Yes, you know about the mosaic and everything like that, especially when you get out onto the pitch. You walk out here, first thing you see is the stand opposite, and you turn your head to see the rest of the mosaic. You're here, maybe you look over to this corner to wave to someone you know. Players are aware, yes. People think we're in our own world and don't notice these things, but that's not the case. Zubizarreta, Ferrer, Nadal, Koeman, Sergi, Amor, Guardiola, Baquero, Goicoechea, Stoichkov and Romário. That was Johan Cruyff's starting 11, with Michael Laudrup among the substitutes. In general, it's in January and February that the more technical players feel the effects of all the games they've been playing. In winter, that's when it happens. In Madrid, well, they've often made the most of that particular situation. So this time we opted for a lineup with more strength. I found it very hard to understand Johan beyond the short phrases that he used, because the short phrases are totally logical, indisputable. Cruyff's logic led him to starting with Goycochea at left-back and Sergio on the left wing. As well, Stoichkov lined up on the right rather than the left, which is his more natural side. But after half an hour, Cruyff changed things around. Goycochea and Stoichkov switched wings, and Xavi Ferrer played tighter on Madrid's Robert Prosinecki. I remember the day that Cruyff played Goycochea at fullback for the first time. It was against Atletico Madrid, and it was the same day that he decided that he wouldn't mark Atletico's Manolo, the player who'd been the league's top scorer the season before. And when he was asked why, he said, "Easy. What's Manolo's main strength?" The questioner was nonplussed, and Cruyff said, "He gets away from his marker, so if we don't mark him, he can't get away from his marker." And Manolo did nothing that game, and Goycochea, he had a brilliant game. Early in the second half, Michael Laudrup came on for Hristo Stoichkov. Hristo played very well. His aggression and so on. And then, when they were tiring, it was time for Michael's more subtle touch. We'll take off number 8. But if we take off number 8, yes, we take him off. He was playing like a number 6, and the player coming on will play as a number 10, and number 6 will play at number 4. That's the way he did it. We've all been saying that you got it right again with your starting lineup. Thank you very much. I'll play it again. Well, I think once is enough, because do it again and no one's going to believe it. The game was proceeding without incident, but Romário was waiting for a pass he could pounce on. The first saw him ruled offside. The second was gathered by Madrid keeper Bullo. The third, though, he turned into a goal for the ages.
El Gujuro pel Romário, al minut 25 de la primera part. Me parece que fue una jugada por el medio, no sé si...
I think it was a pass from Pep. Romário received it just outside the area, and he did that flick of the cow's tail turn he had on Rafa Alcorta, I think it was, and he finished it off with the outside of his foot or his toe, the way he did it, bang. It was something he did a lot in training.
Y un golazo de los que hacía muchísimos en los entrenamientos.
That movement he made seems impossible. It was almost as if Alcorta would break his hip. Luckily for him, he didn't. But that sound. That was what Romário could do. Maybe he wouldn't get much of a touch of the ball, but anything around the area he could finish and win the game for you. First of all, he's the best centre-forward that I played with. In the area, there was no one like him. No one at all. And he was an extraordinary player, electric, a player who didn't exist until he existed. And I saw Romário do things that were impossible, and marvellous as well. He could chip the keeper like no one else. An incredible player, from another planet. He thought quicker than anyone else, and he thought and invented like no one else had done before. I loved him. Even though as a person, he left something to be desired, as a player, he was out of this world. He was special for the way he was. He was a laid-back guy, didn't say much. But when he had something to say, well, he said it. Romário was switched on for the big games in a very special way. In very small spaces, he was a player who could do anything. He could score, he could attack the space, he could beat his man one-on-one. Incredibly skillful. He was the mouse, and the rest of them were cats. And the cat never caught the mouse because the mouse was cleverer. Incredible. I really enjoyed watching Romário. Romário's 24th minute beauty meant that Barca were leading 1-0 at half-time. And early in the second half, a typically driving run from Hristo Stoichkov was brought to an end by a foul on the edge of the Madrid box. Cue Ronald Koeman.
Acaba de marcar Koeman al minut 3 de la segona part del partit amb el peu dret a picar la pilota i l'esfèrica ha entrat com una bala a l'esquerra de la porteria de Bullo.
Yes, I remember that after Ronald's free kick they made it 2-0. Well, Madrid, I don't know if they were playing or if they threw in the towel because they just weren't in it then. Every time we got forward, we scored. Barca were much better than they were because they really knew it by heart and they were very controlled. Another thing, they were a team that could do it in the space of half an hour. At a certain moment, the inspiration descended. Barca went on to destroy Madrid with lightning attacks. Romário's second and third goals weren't as brilliant as the magical opener, but he was in the right place each time as he converted passes from Nadal and Laudrup.
Acontece que na vida a gente tem. Sou feliz por ser amado por alguém, porque eu te amo, eu te adoro, meu amor.
Well, as a team, we knew we were playing well in that game. We were confident because we were winning well and we were enjoying it. And we could tell that the fans were enjoying it too, and that gave us that extra push maybe to score one more goal. Maybe that kept us going forward to look for the fifth goal. But with goalkeepers, we're always concerned with having the back line organised, concerned about not being open to counter-attacks, having all their forwards marked. Sometimes it's hard to enjoy the score because we're more worried about the nil than the 5. On the Madrid bench, manager Benito Floro looked unhappy enough when it was 4-0, and a lesser-known Barca player, Ivan Iglesias, came on to make him even more miserable.
Romário que se'n va, Romário fa la passada per Ivan! El cinquè que puja al marcador! Gol d'Ivan al minut 41 de la segona part del partit. Ivan acaba de marcar el cinquè.
5-0, no?
5-0. Bang. The cherry on the cake, because 5 makes it the perfect round number.
L'arrodoniment perfecte, no?
The person who was happiest of everyone involved in the game was Toni Bruins. He got up off the bench and showed his 5 fingers to the crowd. I remember it as if it was yesterday, because I was very close to where he was standing, and I saw that smile on Tony's face. That was one of the best nights for the Dream Team. A great night. What did it mean? It was one more fiesta. That team was a fiesta, and that was one more fiesta.